Okay, everyone. Hello. Welcome. Oh, there is a viewer. Interesting. Hello. So, yes, we have our council meeting today. Our council of electors. I'm just popping over there. We'll join that call shortly. And hopefully we actually have some electors ready to do something. Hello. Well, we're sitting at T-minus 3 minutes until we actually get things properly started. So, how's everyone doing?
Meh.
Alright, alright.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello. There we go. Would it be good to go and send a ping and announcements telling everyone that they're allowed to listen in?
Oh, sure. There we go. Ping sent.
That's
What an exciting meeting we have ready
I
to go
know.
here.
Yo, it's good.
Yo,
Yo.
did you get appointed as temporary elector for your team?
Nope.
Yeah. That's epically.
Yeah.
What do you guys do at these things?
We usually discuss rule changes, mostly. Sometimes there's other discussion, but
Well, usually is in quotations because it's only actually
yeah,
happened once
yeah,
before.
it's very true. It's very true. It's sad but true. Nope, that song is probably copyrighted. Okay. Well, it is 3:20. We only have 2 electors actually ready to go here. So I guess I'll get things started. Mr. Black Arrow, sir, have you read through the omnibus rule changes that I have proposed?
I have.
Very good, very good. And how do you feel about them?
Overall, I think they look pretty good.
Anything specific that you feel should be changed, or should we just go ahead and take a vote on them right now?
What are we changing up again? Sorry, I'm late.
I have proposed an omnibus rule change that changes a large number of rules. So we have changes to Section 1, Section 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, wait, no, I'm looking in the wrong place. Changes to Section 1, changes to Section 3, changes to Section 4, changes to Section 7. Ooh. Yes, I suppose that. Yes. Changes to Section 7 as well. Alright. So I'm not getting any feedback on that, so all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Alrighty, aye. And the motion does pass. Those rule changes will be implemented. That means it is your turn to propose a change. Mr. Black Arrow, sir?
Alright, so it sounds like the time is like not working out for most people right now.
Alright. And your proposal?
Seems it.
Do you have a specific time frame in mind, or?
I guess it talked about taking a vote, so I guess past that we take a vote to change it.
Alrighty, so one option would be to keep it the same. Another option for 4 to 6, 5 to 7, 6 to 8, 7 to 9 sort of deal.
Yeah.
Propose those as options.
Or at least rediscuss it, because part of me is also thinking that it seems historically trying to get a whole bunch of people to show up on the server at the same time has not panned out well.
No, not particularly.
We've gotten it. This is, if you can even call it this, a work. This is the third time it's worked.
Yeah. Not exactly a huge turnout here.
Yeah. So, would it be good to like extend it, like make it slightly less punishing to not be online the entire thing, but have more time to be on? What do you think?
Okay. Yeah, I don't know how we would do it so that way we can make it less punishing to be on for only a fraction of the time.
But I also don't want it to be like, 12 hours. And if
yeah,
you're not
no,
on that 12 hours.
I completely agree.
Yeah.
No, I think that the easiest thing to do would be, here's a set time, and we'll just, here's a set time that works better for everyone, I guess.
Yeah, sounds good.
So I guess we'll vote on creating another vote.
Alright.
Alrighty, all in favor, please say aye. Aye.
Cool, James will be here. That'll be nice.
Oh, who's gonna join us?
James?
Yes.
Just set into that.
I'll just create the poll before I forget about it.
Hello.
Hello.
Wait, my headset dead? No, there, I can hear people.
Alrighty. I will just remind any of my fellow electors who are in the call that in order to participate in these meetings, you are required to attend within Minecraft in order to
coming.
propose and propose issues and make votes.
Getting there.
I just got home from work, so booting.
Alrighty, I suppose that means it's my turn to propose another change. So I propose raising the team limit from 4 to 5.
I'll second that.
Sounds good.
Alright, all in favor, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
And it passes unanimously. Yet again. Okay. Let's see, where is that under team limits? A maximum of 5 total members. Alrighty. And that means it is your turn to propose an issue, Black Arrow.
So, as we literally just stated, I feel like it might be more easy to get people to actually get, if we remove the fact that you need to be on the server to actually participate in the council.
I agree.
Alright.
Also agree.
And how would you propose to change that? And still keep any semblance of order? Given that the that exception is made specifically to ensure that there is an order to proposals being made.
Seating order within the Discord call.
That's
Interesting. And how is that going to be defined?
By whoever's hosting it, who they see at the top to bottom.
I
Okay.
think, at least for me, it's ordered by alphabetically.
I think it is for most people. But it just gives an order for people to go in.
So then, yeah, you're not able to. So then, whoever's hosting currently gets first proposal, essentially. So it would start from them, and then whoever's next in the Discord call, whoever's directly beneath them, then whoever's directly beneath them, so on and so forth, until you go until you reach the person at the bottom, and then you loop back around to the top. Is that what I'm hearing?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know if there's really any inherent reason between the order besides the host.
Having an order to how proposals are given just ensures that there's no confusion.
I said that, then I went say that the way I meant. Pretty much any advantage to being earlier in the order if you're not the host. That.
I'm sorry, I'm confused what you're trying to say here.
Yeah, I'm confused on how to say it.
Fair enough.
Pretty much, if you're not the host, can I say here we've got 4 seats here. There's the host seat, but then the other 3 seats, I don't know if there's really too much advantage between any of those 3 seats, except for mine, which has a really fancy sign on it.
I see. Yes. I'm not sure what this has to do with the proposal at hand.
Pretty much saying that it doesn't really matter that we are kind of blocking out that and just going by alphabetical.
Yeah. Okay.
So it's kind of an awkward way of saying I second the idea.
Alrighty.
I am amazing with words.
I think James was just laughing at how he was chucking out steak, and I just accepted
it. Just walks up and snatches
Yeah.
it.
Tasty. Alrighty, so we'll switch from an alphabetical, or rather from a seating order to an alphabetical order based on the host's perspective within Discord and the call, and starting with the host and then moving down and recycling to the top. And nothing else about how proposals are made will change, just the specific ordering. Yes?
Yeah.
That's what we're voting on? Alright, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Alright, the vote passes unanimously. And I suppose that takes effect immediately. Let me just see if I can find that. Council of Electors, Section 7. Okay, so they shall serve as moderator So then instead of the elector directly beneath them in the Discord call shall have the next chance to bring an issue to vote. In the Discord call, from the perspective of the host,
Go no!
What?
I got kicked
oh,
because my internet connection does that every once in a while.
okay, I think that's relatively clear. Okay, so that means Black Arrow just had his turn, which means Karma Frost. It is your turn to make a proposal if you so wish. You may also cede your turn.
I believe one of the major problems with like how the raid day goes currently is that if people make too many alliances, it can be kind of overwhelming for people that don't really have as many. So, for
Mhm.
example, if a person has 3 alliances, that's about 12 people versus one person,
Mm-hmm.
or 12 to 16 people. So, could we just like limit the amount of alliances that you can have at one time? For example, like up to 1, maybe 2 alliances per team.
The issue with that is that alliances are essentially just an agreement that can be broken as readily as any other agreement. No? So and if we start limiting the number of alliances that people have, then that sort of goes against many of the ideas of the rules in that factions have complete sovereignty over themselves and as such can deal with each other as they see fit. And so preventing that sort of opens a door that I think could then be used to sort of prevent other actions from being taken, limiting other actions. Um, and I think it's much simpler if we just don't specify. I do think that we should do something to ensure that alliances don't stick around for too long. But I don't think that we should outright limit however many alliances people have. I think it would be all right if we had a sort of a gentleman's agreement that perhaps you only keep so many alliances active, but I think that that should be sort of a more point of etiquette rather than a explicit rule.
I have an
Same.
idea.
At the same time, though, to counter that, if somebody has like a gentleman's agreement and they break that, they basically can have as many alliances as they want, and no one can basically raid any of those because they're just too strong to go up against.
Uh,
Because if we have one alliance, I believe we just changed the maximum number of players per alliance or per team for about from 4 to 5. So if people have too many alliances, that could be a maximum of 5 people versus say 25 people during one raid day. If
mm-hmm.
those 25 people raid that singular team, that makes it impossible to defend, and it makes it impossible to make any sort of counterattack because there's too many people to fight.
Well, that is technically true. Um, it's then sort of the onus is on that singular team to then work to create divisions within that alliance where they can, um, which could prove far more effective than having uh, even one alliance, because having that alliance break apart then has a lot more power for that singular team than if uh, those teams had never come together, right? So if now you have a split in the alliance, that's actually a major advantage to that singular team, because they can pretty well be guaranteed that they'll be left alone, because everyone will be two fighting each other who they were previously allied with. And so, in so doing, I think that that sort of is the counter balance to that. James, you had a suggestion.
So it's not a limiter. It's just sort of it kind of works with what he wants, but hang on, I kind of forgot it. Give me a moment. Oh, any agreement or alliance or whatever of two teams or more
Mhm.
has to be renegotiated at the end of the following raid day from when it's initiated.
Mm.
So even if it's an alliance that lasts longer, they still have to renegotiate it.
Interesting.
So it's not like a flat out you can't. It's more of an encouragement to change.
The one potential thing with that is that you could include a clause in your agreement that, unless explicitly stated, we will automatically renew this treaty after each raid day. And one raid day is, I think, more likely to result in that. If it were something like 3 or 4 raid days, where it's a longer period of time, then I think that you're less likely to see those automatic renewal clauses. And I think that that still then allows an alliance to have a certain amount of longevity without becoming overly cumbersome, I suppose.
Mm-hmm. Well, we can't really stop players from forming teams, because even if we remove their ability to form teams, they can still have unofficial teams or
Yes.
alliances or whatever.
No, that's exactly right.
That is true. My main concern is that for singular factions, it becomes like overwhelming to continue playing in the same game where everybody else has a team and you're stuck with nothing. That's just my main issue.
I
what
would
I've
argue that's not the case. There's absolutely no reason for a singular team to feel that they are so disadvantaged as to make playing completely unworthwhile. So long as they can fly under the radar, and it's much easier for a smaller team, they can quite easily create sufficient infrastructure to maximize their competitive advantage against other teams. I don't think that it rules them outright. It's quite easy for a team to catch up to competitors through the use of infrastructure and preparedness, as opposed to alliances. If an alliance is made up of 3 teams who are ill-equipped and ill-prepared, a single team who is very well prepared and well equipped is far more likely to win against that alliance. And smaller team sizes enable different tactics and different arrangements. So I don't think that there is such a disadvantage as to rule small teams out completely.
If they decide to go for any sort of PvP action, though, they're immediately disadvantaged due to the amount of swords that are already against them.
Only if those swords are actually properly organized, and I think you'll find that it's, with the way things have been going, it's difficult enough to organize one team, much less 3 teams. I have yet to see any sort of major conflict where more than 2 teams were actually able to engage in combat together on a single side. Go ahead.
So my thought would be, potentially, since it's more of a niche case anyway, that if it does come out that you feel like this is really happening, then maybe like you're allowed to contact your local elector or admin and have that more singularly taken care of.
I do like that idea that if an administrator feels that an alliance has become too large and is ruining things for everyone else, then the admin has the right to say, well, I'm sorry, you're going to have to break this up somehow. Because that is their job, essentially. Admins exist to ensure that the community continues. So I think it would be quite beneficial to explicitly state somewhere that admins have the full authority to say that alliances must be broken in one way or another, or to otherwise sow discord among
That's
alliances.
completely fine with me, as long as the alliances like don't get too powerful to the point where they just die.
I mean,
Or
I'm
rather,
always
they
happy to
don't
have
break.
more power as an admin.
Yes, especially because we stripped you from some earlier today. So, sure, yeah. So we're having a vote on adding an administrative privilege to forcefully break apart alliances that have grown too large, if
I-
necessary. Is that what we're
Like to
voting on?
I would like to add a feature as well. It should be voted upon by like an emergency council of electors to see if it's actually too strong. That way, it's not an abuse.
So that the okay, so what you're saying is that first, so that this has to go through both the council and the administrators to break up an alliance. Is that what I'm hearing?
Correct. Basically, just set it up as it's a temporary breakage.
Okay.
But for it to be a permanent breakage, it must be voted on upon the council of electors.
Okay, so either of them can temporarily dissolve an alliance, but if both are involved, that means that you can never create that specific grouping of teams again.
Correct.
All right. All in favor, please say aye.
I
I.
Alrighty. All against, please say nay. No nays. A couple of abstains, it looks like. Alrighty, so
Is Sam okay? Because he's just sitting there with a green ring and not saying anything.
I have no idea. I assume he's probably fine. Okay.
I
where do
am
we put
more than
this?
fine, let me tell you.
Ooh, more than
Ooh.
fine.
What?
I think we need to make a rule to stop that. I mean, too much power there.
Yeah,
That's
nerf me.
true. We'll put it under miscellaneous. Okay.
Serious keyboard ASMR going on here.
Yes.
So how's your day been going, Leon?
I'm falling asleep. You guys are so political. It's insane.
This is what happens when you play with Josh. It's awesome most of the time.
Congratulations on being so orderly that
Yes.
I can't
Order.
handle it.
I'd be curious to put Goth and Sam in a room together and see who comes out alive.
Who?
Well, they both come out alive most of the time, so.
That's true.
Me and Samuel?
Chaos versus order. Who will win?
Chaos.
Yeah, I gotta put my money on chaos.
Chaos is so
I mean,
much
it's
more fun.
pretty simple. We just partner up and do what we do best.
Somebody will die.
Chaotic
Also,
order.
I think Sam could hand Josh his ours.
Oh yeah, probably.
I second that motion.
Okay, so that's now a clause in section 10.
I love how there's this Enderman who's been watching the proceedings
Yeah.
the whole
I
time.
was just chilling. Okay, that means it is my turn to make another proposal. And I will actually cede my turn. Which means it is now good old Ty Steel Eye's turn.
I had something for this.
Oh wait, if I may, James, may I take my turn back?
Yeah,
actually?
go for it.
One thing I forgot about until just now was that during one of the early raid days, we had a complaint that a certain team, let me see if I can find their name, a certain team violated the clause on the strategic removal of beacons, and I think we have to make a ruling on that. If I can find it. Is it? Ooh. Yes, the team Purple Rain. So that's under...
Darian.
Yes.
To be
course it
completely
is.
clear, though, Purple Pain is since this band is now known as Purple Rain, or Purple Pain from Purple Rain.
Sorry, Purple...
They're now Purple Pain because
I see.
of the suffering that's
But it
happened or
is
something.
the same team.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So that is... Which rule is that in violation of? Yes. Okay. Section 3, Article 6. And I suppose this also falls under 6A. Beacons may not be deactivated for strategic reasons. If there is ambiguity as to what includes strategic deactivation, the council shall have final say on what constitutes as an offense. Alright, so we have had a complaint about this. I forget exactly from whom, but it doesn't particularly matter. So if I may go over the situation again. On that day, I forget exactly which day it was. Slightly.
The first raid day.
Yes, it was the first raid day. I don't remember what the date on that was. Purple Rain signed on early. There was some drama with losing one of their players, letting them go. They sabotaged their own base, grabbed the beacon, and left. Does that sound about right to everyone?
The member didn't officially leave until after raid day had already started and they'd been trapped.
I see.
Purple Rain booby trapped their base and their valuables as a test. If the member betrayed them, they were going to move base and beacon and everything. So the member betrayed them, joins another team, then they were going to come and attack them. So they moved their base, which is a violation of the rule. So, because it was already raid day by the time that they moved it.
Thank you for that clarification. Okay, so I think that, yes, most likely, I think it does qualify as a strategic deactivation. However, I think that it's not really the sort of strategic deactivation that the clause was meant to prevent. And I think it's a much more minor form of that. This is my own opinion. And as such, I think that the punishment for this should be relatively light. I think they should be punished because it is a violation of the rules, but I think it's a relatively minor infraction, and the punishment ought to reflect that. Does anyone have any suggestions for what would be a fair punishment?
I think, as an aside from this, before we get into punishment,
Mhm.
they did end up losing a member because of or two members because of the situation, and are now a two-member team that both
This is
haven't
true.
logged on since that day. So I don't think punishment is warranted or necessary, because I don't think either of them are actually going to play again, like the punishment would not encourage them to play again.
Well, if they do play again, I vote that the punishment is slapping them with fish.
I think that's reasonably fair.
Hit with a bunch of defense suspenders with just fish pouring out onto them.
Yeah.
No, it has to be personable. Someone has to walk up to them and slap them with a fish.
There must be a line of...
Every single elector gets one.
Every elector shall receive a fish, and with this fish, the former members of Purple Rain and or Purple Pain shall receive a slap with a fish from each elector. Is that what we're going with?
Yes. And henceforth shall be the punishment for the first offense of this offense.
Oh, so we're constituting this... No, I don't think we make this the first offense. The first time offense punishment, because I think this is a slightly it's somewhat of a special case, at least.
I think the first time offense should be changed to at a later date or more clarified, but for now, just fish them.
Yes.
All right.
That sounds insult enough.
All in favor of the grand punishment of slapping with fishes for the violation of Section 3, Article 6, please say aye.
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 Sounds pretty unanimous to me. Alrighty, so let me just... The former members of Purple Rain have been found in violation of Section 3, Article 6. As such, the Council has determined that should they rejoin and... As such, the Council has determined that each former member must receive a slap with a fish from each elector. All right. So that would mean, so the former members targeted by this just punishment include Digital Duelist, Electrobrine, and who's the last on that team? Does anyone remember?
Who have you labeled off already?
Sorry?
Who have you labeled
Digital
off already?
Duelist, Electrobrine, and there's a third.
Smiled.
Yeah, Smiled.
I think Mild joined in later, though, didn't he?
No, he was
he
part
was
of the
there.
team before the event.
Okay, fair enough.
Alrighty. Okay. So that's that done, which now brings it to Tysteli's turn. And do you have any suggestions you would like to make?
I'm gonna have to pass for now.
Alright. That brings us to the anti-hero. You have any proposals?
I have conferred with my team,
Mm-hmm.
And there wasn't really anything of note, but I'm supposed to say, quote, moo, unquote. That's all.
I will take this as a cedence of your turn. We will move
I
on
second
to
that.
Black Arrow.
Alright. I've success that we should ban Nat Boy from saying cool in the town square chat.
I second
I
this.
second this. All right, all in favor say aye.
I
Aye. Oh, we should have discussed a punishment for this.
fish slapping. Someone knows his IRL address.
Slap
We're
him
not
on the
allowed
back.
to mete out IRL punishments, remember?
No, no, it's a joke. It's a joke. It's a joke. He's like 12. I'm not gonna slap a 12-year-old with a fish.
I would.
That would
I'll
be
do it.
wise.
Who are we slapping?
I can just like make him unable to see town square.
Yeah,
If-
so if he persists in stating cool in town square, say perhaps the third offense, he will just be prohibited from writing messages in that chat.
Is
All
going
right. You post that like you did the last thing. I think that's a good idea. Anyone else? Okay, I'll take your silence as yes. So 3 offenses. He gets blocked from being able to speak in the town square.
Wait, is there a way to disconfigure Fat Scrubber to just censor the word cool?
Oh wait, can we?
I have no idea.
Yo,
That would
hang
be
on.
funny though.
We don't have a bot chat anymore. This sucks. What's his command prompt? Chat scrubber?
So, under Section 10, Article 3, the user NatBoy shall not state any permutation or part of the word cool in the chat #townsquare. Upon his third offense of this, he shall no longer be able to write at all in the chat.
You should probably tell him.
Good idea.
Just we could just say that means you, X.
The Council of Electors suggests you review the rules, specifically Section 10, Article 3. And that is added to him, so he will definitely see that. Hopefully. Alrighty. That brings us to... it was Black Arrow who just made this suggestion, which brings us to Karma Frost again.
I pass.
Alright. And I will also cede my turn, which brings us back to Tai Steeleye. Nothing to add, I take it?
I had something. I've just been struggling to remember it. No, I'll just pass again.
Alrighty, the anti-hero still passing. I will take your silence as another cedence of your turn, and Black Arrow.
I'll pass.
Alrighty, and that then ends the council. There are no more issues to discuss. Thank you all for a productive session. And thank you and farewell. I shall implement the rule changes from the omnibus swiftly. I'll do that right away. And yes, once again, thank you all. I shall see you later.
Farewell.
Okay, goodbye. I'm done here. I might be back this evening.